Well, hello! My name is Dylan, and today we'll be talking about integers. Some of you guys might be asking, what are integers? Well, sweetheart, let me explain. Okay, so ignore my ugly writing and drawing, but basically, integers are just numbers. Like you see right there, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3, etc. The list goes on and on. Okay, so what about these numbers? What exactly are you guys going to be doing with integers? Well, clearly you see right there, adding, subtracting, and negatives. You already know about adding and subtracting. As for negatives, you may or may not know. But just to fill you in, negatives are just numbers that come after 0, such as -1 and -2. The list still goes on and on. Basically, a mirror version of positives. Okay, so clearly, as you can see, you have adding, subtracting, and of course subtracting again, but you can see that the last one is a negative. Now, when you see this, basically, anytime you'll get a negative is when you subtract. You don't really see adding two positives, such as 2 and 3, and getting a negative. That's because adding will always bring you up, subtracting will always bring you down. But of course, this does have an exception, but we'll talk about that later. Now, as you can see from these equations, both come out to be 7s, except one is a positive and one is a negative. Now, why is that, you may ask? Well, as you can see from the first equation, the second number, 8, is smaller than the positive 15. So when you subtract those two, the positive number will be bigger, therefore the total will be positive. As for the second equation, 15 is the bigger number, while 8 is a smaller number. So because 8 is being subtracted from 15, you're going to come out with a negative. If the negative number is bigger than the positive, then the outcome will always be negative. If the positive number is bigger than the negative, then the outcome will be positive. Now, some of you guys may have just listened to that and thought, what are you talking about? I still don't get it. Well, let's think about it this way. If Jimmy has 15 apples and Austin takes 8, Jimmy is still gonna have 7 more apples left, okay? But if Jimmy only has 8 apples and Austin supposedly takes 15, Jimmy's not gonna have enough apples to supply that, which means it falls below 0, making it -7. Are you keeping up now? Now, this may not be as easy in equations as there are multiple rules that go into it. Of course, as I just told you, at least 3 of them, there's still one important rule that you need to keep in mind when doing integers. Okie dokie, so as I said before, there is a rule that you guys need to keep in mind when learning integers, especially negatives. When you are subtracting a negative with a negative, the outcome will become positive. Now, how does this work exactly? Well, think of it as a magnet or a battery. So, when you put two negatives together, you're going to get a positive, meaning they're going to clash with each other or connect. That basically means it's going to flip from being a negative into being a positive. However, if you were just to do, let's take that equation and did -4 subtracted by 6, that's basically adding for negatives, meaning you're going to get -10. Hopefully you guys can understand that, as that will be a big part in integers, especially in this math class. So let's just summarize what we've just learned today, why don't we? We have adding, subtracting, and negatives. Now, adding, of course, you're getting more, subtracting, you're getting less. And if you subtract way more to far below 0, you're going to get negatives. And as you guys know, negatives are just basically a mirror version of positives. So y'all already know about these negatives. Subtracting a negative with another negative will make it positive. That's one important rule that you must remember. For example, negative 4 minus negative 6 will equal 2. On the other hand, negative 4 subtract 6, not a negative 6, a positive 6, will make it negative 10. That's just something y'all will have to remember. Integers are pretty easy, basically. You guys already know this, should be easy, but negatives will be your only challenge. In the end, integers are pretty simple. It's basically just whole numbers, adding, subtracting, and that's basically it. It's a simple thing to learn, and for the most part, it's easy. Y'all have been doing this from elementary to now, so this should not be a problem. So yeah, this has been a lesson with Dylan. It was nice meeting y'all. Have fun your freshman year. Toodaloo.